Good morning, students. Today we'll solve the exercise of the cherry tree. So the first question is of reading. Okay, so make sure you carry your book with you while watching this video. Okay, book is compulsory. So the first question is, on the basis of your understanding of the story, select the most appropriate answer. So the question is, the place where Rakesh lived did not have many fruit trees because the answer is first, the soil and weather conditions were not favorable. So this is the answer. Next one is, the grandfather said that for some time something to be lucky it should be. Okay, so the answer is second, made use of. If we made use of something, only then this thing can be lucky. The third one is, the tree gave more satisfaction to both Rakesh and his grandfather because the tree gave more satisfaction to both Rakesh and his grandfather because they had nurtured it. Okay, like I explained in the video, because they nurtured it, that's why they liked it the most. However, there were lots of trees in the forest, but why charity was special for them? Because they nurtured it themselves. That's why they liked it. Next is, complete the following table by giving evidence from the story for the following statements. Okay, now we have got the statements here and the evidence. Grandfather and Rakesh realized the setting in of spring, means they realized that now spring is about to start. So what is the evidence? The wild duck flew north again to Siberia, because the duck flew to Siberia. So this is the evidence. Next, monsoon is good for vegetation. So the evidence is, ferns spring from the trunks of trees, means during rainy season, like we have lots of plantation. Strange looking lilies came up in the long grass. Flowers grow, flowers bloom. The cherry tree grew quickly in this season because they get water. Grandfather was grumpy during the winter. Why was he grumpy? Because he was not able to get the newspapers as the roads were blocked. Okay, as a result, his stories began to have unhappy endings. Earlier, he used to narrate the stories which had happy endings, but as he was not getting the newspapers, so he was grumpy, and consequently, his stories began to have unhappy endings. Rakesh had grown. He could run and jump and climb trees as well as most boys, and he read a lot of books. Of course, when children grown up, they just jump, they just run around. Okay, they read lots of books. So this is the answer. So these evidence you have to write in the book with pencil. Now the next we have vocabulary. The first one is that, filling the blank with words from the text, the meaning of the words are given in brackets. Okay, so lack of good food in growing children leads to stunted growth. It means prevented full of growth, means the synonym is stunted, means stops. Becoming a dash is a great opportunity for those who love the great outdoors, have a passion for the environment. Keeper of the forest. So what is the synonym? Forest ranger. It means the keeper of forest. So write down these synonyms in your book. The principal heard a noise from the class and dash asked the teacher to investigate. Quickly means promptly. Promptly the synonym. Lying in bed the whole day when he was unwell made the little boy grumpy. Grumpy means irritable, annoyed. Okay. The thief crept into the house. Crept means move stealthily, means when nobody notices. It is called crept. Next we have the listening skills. Now listen to this story and answer the following questions. George was made a wealthy master of a hatchet means. What does it mean? So the answer is A. He was presented an X. So tick out this answer. Second, George's father was angry because it was his favorite tree that was cut. So this is the answer. George staggered under it for a moment. Here staggered means the answer is B. He needed to think about the question for a minute. Fourth one is the George's father, it was most important that C. His son told him the truth. The answer is C. The fifth one is this famous story has made George Washington a symbol of honesty. B. Okay. Now the next we have, think of some solution to these problems. Okay, there are reduce, right? Reduce, reuse, recycle. Okay, these are great ways to remove waste and protect your environment. Give 3 examples of each. Okay, we need to give 3 examples. Reduce means to reduce, to make less the quantity. Plastic bags, use cloth instead. We can use cloth instead of plastic bags. Reuse plastic and cloth bags, we can reuse it. Recycle, we can recycle newspapers. Okay, now we have water, we should not waste water, don't waste. Okay, then what we can reuse, glass bottles and containers. We can use glass bottles and containers to save to reuse bottles. Again, how can we recycle the newspaper, plastic bottles and containers? We can recycle it, we know very well. Petrol, so how can we reduce the consumption of petrol? We can walk. Okay, carpool, instead of hiring a single car, we can chip in. Okay, we can carpool or use public transport. Okay, there is this is another alternative. Reuse, we can reuse cloth, towels and sheets, we can reuse it. Like we can use the towel when it gets old. Okay, we can use it to mop the floor. Then we have glass bottles and containers, we can recycle the glass, as we know very well, right? Now next we have alternate forms of transport. So the increase in vehicles, in increase in pollutants in the form of carbon monoxide, hydrocarbons, nitrous oxides, carbon dioxide, and particulates. We can reduce it. So how can we reduce these poisonous gases? How? We carpool, of course. We can chip in. Then what we can do? We can carpool, we use bicycles, we can use bicycle, we use public transport. This is how we can use the consumption of petrol. Then next we have educating people. We must create awareness in the people, discuss in pairs ways in which you could do this. So how can you create the awareness? So the answer is use social media. We can use social media as it is quite famous. Hold talks, discussions in school. Of course, we can do that in the form of discussions, debates. Write essays and articles. We can do that. Okay, this is how we can educate people. Now, use of technology in spreading environment awareness. Now think of an issue troubling the environment. Write a short message addressing this issue, which you can post on your social media account. So you need to write a simple message, a short message. Here is just an example for you. Okay, you can write down in your book. Okay, however, you can think of any other message and can write down your own message. Okay, that would be more appreciable. Now, the Amazon rainforest is still on fire. In just 40 years, the amount of land under rainforest lost is equal to the size of the continent of Europe. Oh my God. So we have lost a considerable land due to the fire. In the last century, we have lost half our rainforests. Last century. A century contains 100 years, means in the last century, means last 100 years we have lost half of our rainforests. So it's a matter of concern. It's time to wake up and realize. Now we should realize, we should wake up regarding the greenery. This is not somebody else's problem, it's yours and mine, means the problem belongs to us. We should not consider that okay, the rainforests are getting reduced, what we have to do with that, okay, have nothing to do with that. It's really wrong. So we have to be very concerned about it, because you are the future generation, and there is a responsibility on your shoulder to take care of the environment, okay, since you are going to use them, use it in future. Okay, thank you so much. So write down these activities in your book with pencil. Okay, thank you so much, have a nice time.